Okay, so what if your AI coding assistant wasn't just an assistant, but an entire autonomous organization of developers? That is the seriously cool and frankly mind-bending idea behind a new project called HimCode. And look, this isn't just another plugin for your editor. It's a completely reimagined AI-native development environment, and it's built on a philosophy that is fundamentally different from anything else out there.
And that entire philosophy, it's captured perfectly in this one phrase from their documentation: autonomous execution units. Right away, you know we're not talking about a simple chatbot that just completes your code. We're talking about AI agents that operate with genuine autonomy to get a real job done.
Because let's be real for a second, the AI tools most of us are using today, well, they're basically super intelligent typists, right? They are incredible for generating boilerplate, fixing some syntax, or writing a small, isolated function. But the moment you ask them to do something big, something like a complex architectural refactor across your entire code base, they just lose the plot. They lose context, and they really struggle to see that big picture.
And that leads to the big question HimCode is asking. What if, instead of one single, all-knowing but easily confused assistant, you had an entire organization of AI agents ready to go? You know, a whole team where every member has a specific role and they can all work together to tackle massive, complex problems.
So this brings us to their new paradigm. It's built on two foundational concepts that make this whole AI team thing possible, and they call it the fractal AI organization. So the first piece of the puzzle is this idea of a fractal AI organization. Now, the key word here, the one to really focus on, is recursively. Think of it like a good project manager. When they get a massive project, they don't try to do it all themselves, right? No, they hire and delegate to specialized teams. Well, in this system, an AI agent does the exact same thing. It spawns its own sub-agents to handle complexity, which creates this amazing structure that can scale up or down perfectly to whatever job you throw at it. And the second big concept is intent-driven development. This is all about how you, the human developer, actually interact with this AI organization. You don't just, chat with it vaguely. You give it a high-level intent using a structured set of instructions. And the system is smart enough to translate that intent into a series of concrete, verifiable steps that the agents can then go and execute. Okay, so how does this actually work under the hood? Well, the architecture is built on a few key pillars. Let's start with the first one, the brain of the whole operation, which they call fractal orchestration.
And this image gives us a perfect look at the structure. Right at the top, you have the orchestrator, and you can pretty much think of this as the AI project manager. It gets the main task, and then it delegates pieces of that task to these specialized agents underneath it, like an executor that's responsible for running code, or a code refactorer that's just focused on making it better. Let's just walk through how this works. A task comes in, the orchestrator takes a look and goes, whoa, okay, this involves more than 20 files. That's way too complex for any one agent. So what does it do? It automatically spawns a whole new team of subspecialists and then routes the work to them. A little CSS change, that gets sent to a front-end agent. A big database migration, that goes to a back-end agent. The system literally manages its own complexity. It's brilliant.
So if that's the brain, what's the language that it speaks? Well, that brings us to the second pillar, the semantic runtime. And this is absolutely crucial. HimCode doesn't use a fuzzy conversational chat history that can, lead to all sorts of misunderstandings. Nope. Instead, it treats the large language model like a compiler. It's not having a conversation. It is interpreting and executing a program.
This comparison just makes the difference crystal clear. On one side, you've got traditional AI with its ambiguous context. On the other, you have HimCode. Instead of chat, it uses a structured script file, a .him file. And this file contains these precise, verifiable instructions. You can think of them like command codes or opcodes. So every single action the AI takes is a distinct executable step that can be validated before it even touches your code. It's all about precision and total reliability.
All right, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like when you're using it? Let's take a look at the MCode workbench itself. And here it is, the workbench. So the left panel is your standard file tree, nothing new there. But that center panel, that's where the magic is happening. You can actually see the entire agent organization, you get a live progress log as they're working, and a really clear list of actions. It takes what could be a total black box and makes it completely transparent. And here's the end result.
It's not some black box that just magically changes your code behind your back. The output is a super clean list of all the file changes, just like a commit diff or a pull request you'd get from a human developer. You can see every single line that was added or removed, which gives you full control to review it, accept it, or reject the work.
All of this really ties into the project's core manifesto and its pretty ambitious vision for the future. You see, this is a tool that's built with a very, very specific user in mind. And a few other core principles really drive this point home. First, it's a deep fork of VSCodium. That means it's been fundamentally re-engineered from the ground up. It's not just some surface-level extension. It's also local first, so it supports models running right on your own machine. That means zero token costs and total privacy. And yeah, it's all wrapped up in this really cool Cyberpunk-Anime aesthetic. The roadmap is just as ambitious. So the current version is this lab environment that runs inside VS Code. But the goal is to eventually move to a fully standalone fractal console and even include a 3D visualizer so you can literally fly through your AI organization and see how all the agents are collaborating in real time. How cool is that?
And we end on this really powerful slogan, which just perfectly sums up the entire project. This is not a tool to help you type faster. This is about elevating the role of the developer, empowering you to take a high-level architectural vision and then direct an entire AI workforce to make it a reality. Honestly, HIM code represents a fascinating glimpse into a potential future for how we build software. A future where developers act more like architects, designing the systems and then directing teams of autonomous AI agents to actually build them. If you want to explore this vision for yourself, you've got to check out their official website and the GitHub repository. This is definitely a project to watch.